Hey, it's Yury Experience, and today we are talking about probiotics, fibers and prebiotics. So many unusual words and so little understanding what is actually hidden behind these words. Today we start with our second group of macronutrients. The first group was the group of macronutrients that provide us energy. And these were proteins, carbohydrates and fats, and we covered them up until previous video about nutrition. If you didn't watch that, the playlist can be found in the description. Today we start with a different group of macronutrients which we also need in big amounts, but we don't get energy from them. They serve a different purpose. And actually you would expect me to talk about fibers, but I also decided to talk about probiotics and prebiotics. Why? Stay here and you will understand why exactly. This whole topic is connected to bacteria in our bodies. It is just like that we have bacteria in our bodies that are responsible for different things. Most of them are in digestive parts of our body, also some of them are in our noses, but the most of them are in our colon, almost the rear end of our digestive system. And they do a lot of stuff for our bodies. They help us with digestion, they help us with metabolism, they help our immune system because they kill bad bacteria that are coming to our system. And also they reduce inflammation because the inflammation is a reaction of our body to different stuff that comes in our bodies but doesn't have to be there. Also, some of the bacteria create short fatty molecules that then are used by our colon cells as a protection. So that creates a protective layer or extra protective layer for our colon cells. Which is why overall bacteria are good for our colon health, which means they are good for our body. How do they come there? It's not that they just appear there. Basically, it kinda is because there's a theory that bacteria are coming in our bodies already during pregnancy of your mother, not of yours. And then depending on different various factors, you will get a different kind of microflora or micro world inside of you, which you can actually influence. And quite unexpected, one of the ways to influence your bacterial world is to add new bacteria. And what helps you with that? Probiotics. So yeah, basically probiotics are foods that has also some different value, but also they contain some bacteria, which is why if you eat them, you consume some bacteria and they help you and your body. What are some probiotic foods? There's a list, I don't know all of them by heart, but I was quite surprised to see sauerkraut there. By the way, pay attention that these foods are not pasteurized, because if they are pasteurized, then the bacteria were already killed, so you can still eat these foods, but not because of its probiotic purposes, but because it is tasty. And now let's jump to fibers. Fibers cannot be digested by our system, by our digestive system. Then why do we eat them? Because some of them can be digested by bacteria. Not all of them, but big part of that. This kind of fiber is also called prebiotic. So prebiotics are foods that we eat not for us, but for our bacteria. Not all of the prebiotics are fibers and not all fibers are prebiotics, but a lot of prebiotics are fibers, not all of the fibers are prebiotics. I will come to that in a moment. So basically you eat food, some of that food is digested by our body, then the rest of the food comes to our colon and then bacteria are jumping to it, digesting it, maybe reusing it for you and me, because bacteria also help with digestion and digestion of some specific minerals and vitamins. And by the way, they also produce our gases, so big part of the gases that we produce are gases of bacteria. So yeah. That is one of the reasons why if you eat a lot of prebiotics, you will at first at least get a lot of gases. But the situation will change after some time, so no worries. Then we have fibers that are not digested by bacteria. These are not prebiotics, and these fibers can be still divided in two groups, soluble and not soluble. Soluble fibers are mixed with water and then we get some gel-like substance, and it was observed that this substance can help our bodies to regulate our blood sugar level. I'm not sure how does it work, and according to my knowledge also science is not completely sure, but they are looking into it. And then we have non-soluble fibers that takes in water and then it helps us with bowel movements. If you don't know what bowel movements are, it helps us to create our shit. So if you have any stool problems, irregular stool or stuff like that, eat more fibers. And probably you will have different kinds of problems. For example, you will need to go to take a dump a lot. Still, it is better than not taking a dump at all. Which is why compare. How much of the fibers you shall consume? A number is 38 grams per day for men and 25 grams per day for women. Obviously it is an average number, you go figure. Some good sources of fibers can be found there, and eat these foods and you will get healthier. Because currently most of the people in society don't eat enough fibers, and you shall be an exception of that rule, not a part of that rule. Also, there are probiotic supplements, there are fiber supplements, there are prebiotic supplements, and I personally wouldn't take them without discussing it with your doctor, without discussing it with a medical specialist, because that can be dangerous, because Whole Foods has a package, as I've told you a couple of times already. Whole Foods has a package, and that is why usually if you just increase amount of something, it will just regulate itself. But if you eat raw supplement, it can influence your micro world in a bad way. Please be careful, and as I told you, if you think that you have a problem, go to the specialist. In this case, medical specialist, maybe some kind of digestive system specialist, so they can help you. Fibers are important. That's a fact. Probiotics are also important, prebiotics are also important. Microbes, small workers in your digestive system, are very important. So when something is important, you need to take care of that. Go ahead. That's all. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. Also, if you have any question or suggestion for a topic, write them in the comments below. I will answer your comments and I will maybe do an independent video about that, or I will look into the topics that you are suggesting. I do not know everything, but I do know a lot. That's all for today, and I'll see you tomorrow.